friends, it's Amy. Welcome to Doki Doki Forest. I am so glad you are here. Today, we are going to be having a peek at Glue Book January 2024, and I'm going to show you what I did for days 5 through 11. And this is hosted by Caged Fish, information down below. So here we go, day 5. Now, for this particular journaling prompt challenge, there are questions for each day, or one question per day, and there are prompts. And these are random things. They can be a person, an animal, a place, a thing, and then you go out and you try to find a picture in a magazine, or maybe you already have it in your stash somewhere, and then you try to create a page. So you can do the questions, you can do the prompts, you can do both. I think I'm going to just do the prompts for a bit, or at least to kind of finish this book. And then, once I'm done, I may go and answer some of the questions. Now, in my first video I shared for this, where I did days 1 through 4, I did answer a couple of the questions. But I feel like it's kind of taking up a lot of my headspace. I'm kind of thinking about the question, and then I'm trying to find the images, and I think I just want to take one layer of that away for me. So I'm going to do the prompts for now, and then later, if I want to answer some of the questions, I might like flip the book and do them in the back, or just use whatever pages are left. So for day 5, our prompts are guitar, Noah's Ark, Titanic or large ship, goblet, and light bulb. So this was a challenge for me for sure. The things like light bulb and guitar, those kind of things are fine. I start getting a little hung up when there's like really specific things. So like Noah's Ark is like really specific, and I don't have a picture of that, so I actually just printed one out. And then Titanic or large ship, that was okay. I could have done a large ship. I didn't have to do Titanic, but I just went with Titanic. And guitar, I had fun with because I actually loved this image of a lady playing like air guitar. So I thought that was funny. So it's not actually a guitar. You have to envision it just like she's doing. She is like rocking out. So I loved her image so much, but I feel like the other images with it don't really tell a story or make sense. And I kind of like when my pages have a little bit of a story. Now, that's not a requirement. That's just something that I kind of like when I'm working on it. I like when I feel like the images are talking to me and telling me some kind of story that's happening. And maybe that'll come to me later. We shall see. But for now, I've got all the images on the page and we are done. So now we move on to day 6. We had Peter Pan, Rapunzel, Mad Hatter, Tinkerbell, and I really like that Tinkerbell picture, and the Wicked Witch of the West. So that's just like a decoration for outside, but I really like it. And to me, it really seemed like it was the Wicked Witch of the West, even if it's kind of more of a generic witch, but I really liked it. So we have this Taylor Swift picture, Taylor Swift as Rapunzel. I've held on to this for a really long time, and I absolutely love it. And there was part of me that didn't want to use this image at all, and I thought maybe I could print out a picture of like the Disney, version of Rapunzel, but I just went with it. I was like, then part of me just said, you have been holding on to this image for years. Let's just use it. So I went with that. That voice won. And this image of Peter Pan, I absolutely loved. Like, he looks like a super cool anime character, and he looks mischievous, He's not like a super goody two-shoes Peter Pan. He seems a little bit sneaky. So I was kind of imagining this story where Rapunzel is trapped in her tower, and she's super bored, and she's just kind of thinking about and fantasizing about this mystery man who's Peter Pan. And then Tinkerbell is like, oh, no, that's my guy, because she's a very jealous little fairy. And then we have the Wicked Witch, who is kind of like, the lady in the story that's keeping Rapunzel captive. So she's like, oh, no, there's no one allowed here. No men, no women, no one. So she's trying to stop anyone. And she doesn't even like Rapunzel thinking about anybody. She just wants everything to be completely isolated and in her control. So is Peter Pan someone that actually visited Rapunzel? And that's why she's thinking about him? Because, he can fly. So it is possible that he can get in the tower and sneak in and see her. And then the Mad Hatter, I don't know what he's doing. He's offering tea or something. He's just poking in from the side. So I just kind of like this as voices in Rapunzel's head. But there's also that element of, are they just voices or is there something else going on here? And then for day 7, we have dolphin, hippo, owl, and I have a few owls to choose from here. Different sizes, different poses. And then we have kangaroo, which I had 2 of them, and butterfly, which I have a butterfly lady and then just, a butterfly. So I have some options here. So this was all animals, so I love this. I love pages that have animals or a lot of animals, and I do have quite a few animals in my image collection. So I figure I have probably most animals that are on the list. And this hippo image is another one. I've been holding on to it for so long. And again, there was that little voice that's like, oh, save it for something special. But then luckily, the other voice that's like, nope, just use it. One out. And I'm going to glue it down before I can question my decision or overthink. And then I liked how there was all these other animals. And I was thinking, okay, so maybe this hippo is trying to have some alone time. They just wanted to go out and have a swim and not be bothered by anybody and not talk to anybody. They just want to have their own space. And then all of these other animals show up. It's like you've got the owl that just like lands on the hippo's back. And then you've got the butterfly doing the same thing, perching on the head. They're both coming along for the ride, and the hippo's like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, I just wanted to be by myself. And then the kangaroo like pops in like, hey guys, what's going on? And then you have the dolphin who jumps out of the water, and it's okay if this isn't an ocean, the dolphin's still jumping out of it because it's just pretend. So the dolphin jumps out of the water and is also like, oh, can I come along? I want to play. What are you guys up to? Because, dolphins seem like they're pretty excited. So this is one annoyed hippo at this point. This hippo did not want any of this, and now they have found themselves surrounded. So, on the one hand, clearly they have friends, and that's something to be celebrated. But on the other hand, sometimes you do just want to have a little peace and quiet. So, sometimes our days don't always turn out exactly as we planned. We think we're going to have this self-care time. We're going to have a moment of quiet or peace to kind of like, take a deep breath, maybe read a book, and then chaos ensues. Something happens. All right, day 8, we have waterfall. I have 2 images there. We have 4-leaf clover. We have cloud, and that's actually another picture I've had for a long time. And then I thought this was sort of cloud-ish. I know it's kind of more like this plume in the water, but it's making a cloud. And then, why do I have that? Oh, ocean wave. Ocean wave and nut. So I've got this background with peanuts, and then there's a silly little peanut right there on that page. So, this was a page about something found in nature. The question was actually, if you were something found in nature, what would you be? I think I do want to answer that question. There's a lot of really good questions. I don't know. I'm just trying to simplify, I guess, is the thing. I'm just trying to simplify it a little bit for myself at this time. But the questions are really good. And I found this image that I liked better than the ones I had originally found, and it has clouds and it has ocean waves. So I was thinking I could do a 2-for-1. I can use this nice big background image, and I've knocked out 2 of the prompts. So that appealed to me right away. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. And, I'm going to take a few times, but eventually, we'll get it in there. Trying to line it up, and then, of course, trim the edges. I feel like the image always looks so much different once you get it trimmed up. Like, it looks good when you glue it down, but you can't really get the full effect until you trim it and stuff, and then you can see the image, like, on the page, and I don't know, there's just something about that is really nice. So this waterfall, I figured I would trim. I was thinking, well, I already have the ocean waves in the first picture, and I know they're not big waves, but they are still small waves. And then I thought I could take this waterfall and kind of blend it in a little bit with the water and the rocks that are already there. And I know it doesn't blend 100%, but I do like the way that it looks. And then the clover, I just fussy cut, and it looks like a real shamrock when you get it on there. And then I was trying to figure out, how do I get the peanut on there? And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use this illustrated cartoony one. I got to tell you, this is my favorite page that I made out of this batch that I'm going to show you. And I really liked that Rapunzel one. But this one, this one speaks to me. Just something about it. This is a page I could see myself actually creating, even if I didn't have those prompts. So now we have day 9. So we have snowflake. We have lightning bolt. We have tornado. We have a rainbow. And I have a painted rainbow. And then I have this actual photo of a rainbow. And lastly, we have sun. And I love this sun over the book. And then I have an actual sunrise or sunset picture. So right away, this big image is appealing to me because that way I can cover up all that white lined paper, because I really don't like to see the white lined paper. I know I've mentioned that, but just in case this is your first time here, I really do like to try to cover up the page. Even if I can't do it all the first go around and I come back and I kind of fill it in later, and that is just a personal thing. So don't feel like you can't have the notebook paper or the white paper, whatever you're using. It's like, just you do whatever you enjoy. But just for me, I really like to cover up the page if possible. So again, these are like some big naturey things, and I'm just trying to figure out how they all kind of go together here. And I don't think I really found a way for them to go together, but I did just wind up, getting them on the page. So this was a big image, and I didn't want to have the cowboy riding the horse in the picture, or maybe it's a cowgirl. I'm not sure. But this person, and maybe they're not even a cow girl or boy, they might just be wearing a hat. But I didn't want to have them just because that was not really the theme of the page, or the focus of the page. So I glued the bottom of the book there, and I left the top so it was not glued. That way I can kind of tuck whatever I wanted behind it. And then once I liked how it looked, I can go ahead and glue the top. And I fussy cut the snowflakes out to try to fill in, because there's just so much of the page that doesn't really have anything, because the rainbow is small, and then you have a lot of that background, like grayish sort of tones. So I covered up with what I could, but I wish I had some more snowflakes. I mean, I could print that picture out again, I guess. Day 10, we have island, we have castle, We have, oh, wait, hold on. There's more castles. You can pick your castle. What castle do you want to live in? We've got some choices here. We have cruise ship. We have fancy car. And we have tiara. So right away, I really liked how this castle looked. It was my biggest picture of a castle, and I just thought it looked right, I guess. I don't know. I put that down, and I really like that. So I'm just trying to figure out where I can put it. And then the only problem is I feel like the cruise ship is just so random, and the car is random. The island I like, but I'm just not sure. And Galadriel looks awesome. I love her. And then when I put the car in the sky, I just loved that. That reminded me of like the Weasley's car in Harry Potter. So there's a flying car in the picture. So I'm like, okay, I really like the top. I like the castle, I like the car, and I love Galadriel. And I love how her expression looks like wistful, like she's remembering something or thinking about something or someone. So the top I really like. The bottom is a bit random and there's a lot of white space. So I may go back and paint in there or add some more images. I don't know. Okay, and our last day is day 11. So we have sword. And I have 2 images to choose from for that. We have garden. We have pirate ship. We have teapot. I have these nice big teapots here on this image. And then spider web. So I have 2 images to choose from. Some good old spider webs there. And the question for this day was, if you could visit any fictional place, where would you go? So you can think about that if you want, or not. And right away I realized that image of the lady who was out there like trimming the hedges. I realized that that was not a garden picture that I had pulled aside. I had pulled her aside for a later prompt that's coming up that was high heels. So I went and searched and I found a different garden picture. And I really like it because I feel like it adds to the image of the boy holding aloft his sword like He-Man. And or Prince Adam, I guess. And I feel like I could put that little stone pedestal that he's in, and it could look like he's in the garden, and he is just imagining this whole story. You know, he's got the pirate ship, and he's got, I don't know what the spider webs are. Maybe it's like he's got Sting, you know, from The Hobbit. The sword that Bilbo uses is called Sting. So perhaps he's imagining that he is Bilbo Baggins on an adventure, battling the spiders. And then we have the teapots were really big, though. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to get one of those on the page. Even if I cut out one of the teapots, it's just so massive. I didn't know, and I was thinking, do I have any other pictures of teapots? And I looked through my images. I looked through my really small fussy cut images. I looked through my large images. And then I thought, maybe a sticker? Maybe I can go and get a sticker to go in that space. And that is what I did. Because it just was the thing that fit the best, I think. So maybe the teapot is pouring the dewdrops onto that spider web. That's how I rationalized that it was up there. Or imagined, I should say. That's how I imagined that it was up there. And then I had that extra space, but I also had an extra spider web picture. So I just added that in to complete the page. And that does it for days 5 through 11. But now we'll look at them slowly so you can have a look and take it in, because I know I had everything sped up, and that's just because it takes me a while as I'm shifting the images around. So I just kind of speed it up, and then I figure I'll show you slowly at the end. So here is our first page that we did with this lady rocking out with her air guitar. Maybe she's singing a song about, the Noah's Ark and the Titanic. And then we have our fairy tale page with Peter Pan and Tinker Bell, the Mad Hatter, the Wicked Witch of the West, and Rapunzel. And then we have, you know what I did? I left some space there because if I leave a space, then that means that I thought of a little bit of a story that I think I'm going to go in and write. Hopefully I will. I said that last year, and I still haven't written any of the stories. I actually have to go and rewatch my videos to remember what the heck stories I was thinking of. Oh, and here's my favorite page. This space peanut astronaut. Love that one. I think he's just floating in. It's like the shamrocks, like his little umbrella. He's just floating in. How is he holding on to it? I have no idea. And then these two pages, these ones were both kind of struggles for me, but I got them done, and I think I probably shouldn't have covered up the rainbow like I did there. I'm not sure why I didn't trim that image so I could see the full rainbow. I think I just wasn't paying attention. And then I have this one where I love the top, and then the bottom, I feel like I just want to add something else at some point. So we will see how that goes, if I wind up adding to that or what. And then this is our final page here with this boy imagining that he is having a wild adventure. And that does it. So thank you so much for joining me here today. Let me know if you are doing Glue Book January, and I will see you again soon.